Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Open Mic Discussion. So, this episode is about two things you can do to make sure your kids are more successful in life. So, the first thing is jujitsu. So, recently, our son, he's 7 years old, just started at the academy his first jujitsu classes. Now, he has absolutely loved these classes, and I think they're so important for him. He really loves rolling. If you don't know what rolling is, it's grappling, kind of like wrestling, right? And so, first of all, I've taught our son since he was 3 years old, is when he did his first arm bar. I taught him how to do his first arm bar. I have photos of it, it was amazing, and I've taught him jujitsu in this entire time. So he finally just began at the academy. We wanted to wait until he's a little bit older to start him in jujitsu. So now that he's at jujitsu, like I was discussing with my wife this morning about how great it is to see him rolling and grappling, because he's been put in some positions that have been very difficult, which you find in jiu-jitsu. It puts you in some very, very difficult positions. And I said it's so fantastic for him because already he's having to learn how to overcome more adversity. And he's also not just learning how to overcome adversity, he's making friendships. There's camaraderie through jujitsu. So it's very important in life. Now, on a side note, like I said, I've taught him since he was three, and he's doing really, really well, even though he just started officially at the school. Now, my style of teaching our son was a little bit different. I'm just a blue belt in jujitsu, right? However, some things that with jujitsu that is kind of my pet peeve is seeing people sit down on their butts right away. My whole philosophy is either I'm taking someone down or I'm getting taken down. And so I've ingrained this in our son's mind the entire time. And so it's more, like a wrestler's approach. So he's very big on single leg, double leg takedowns. And he does his best to take his opponent down. And sometimes he's already been taken down. But I think this is a great mindset to have. I've taught him the idea of self defense and how you never want to just drop down to your butt in a fight if you ever had to fight. I incorporated many different things, but already he's learning at the jujitsu school some key things for life that's going to set him up for success. One of the most important things is overcoming adversity. And then he's also learning to respect his teammates, to build, a relationship, have camaraderie, which I think is mentally great for kids as they're starting out. It's great for adults, even for me. I recently just started back at jujitsu. I had another injury, and I miss that camaraderie. Even for adults, it's just so important to have like a support system where you can just sit and talk with people. Is amazing. It's such a healthy environment both for kids and adults. So, with that being said, the second thing that I highly recommend you do for your kids is teach them chess, the game of chess. Even if you don't know how to play chess, you should start learning, and you should get your children involved in how to play chess. Now, I played chess basically since I was maybe 10 years old, and was in chess club like in middle school, and kind of played my whole life. Never went professional or anything. I really just enjoyed it. In fact, with my wife and I, we've been together I think 20 years. I taught my wife early on how to play chess, and I'll tell you a story about that in just a minute. And I started teaching our son around 4 years old how to play chess, and now he's really taken off with it. The kid is a beast in chess, and I mean it. It's no joke. And I'll tell you why he has become such a beast. It's something that I've taught him, and this is what it revolves around: is that I told our son at one point in time I taught my wife how to play chess, right? And then at one point in time she got really, really good and started beating me, and I was having a very difficult time beating my wife. So I went and studied strategy and what other chess players were doing. And then I came back and I consistently started beating my wife. She started losing a lot, and she decided not to study strategy or anything. For quite some time I was winning all the time. And so this is something I expressed to our son, is that in chess, the way you get good is, first of all, you make mistakes, just like life, right? It's important to make mistakes, and your mistakes are going to set you up for success. They're going to teach you how to overcome difficulties, and this is the best way to become successful in life, is where you learn from your mistakes, but you study strategy, right? And I said, so you basically have a choice, right? I said, just like with my wife and I told our son, is that the only reason I started beating my wife again is because I decided to take it upon myself to go and study, to do the research. And that's why I became better. And I said, so anytime you start losing, you need to study more. You need to go study strategy. You need to go study what other famous chess players are doing. Like, right now, my favorite and our son's favorite is Magnus Carlsen, right? So we study a lot of his games, and a couple other key players as well. Now, with chess is very similar to jiu-jitsu in many respects. I've also taught at different schools of elementary schools some chess as well to children. And one thing that I've noted, that with chess, it teaches you some very important principles, especially for children. First of all, it teaches them how to think strategically, right? And also kind of how to think outside of the box. So this is very good. It's almost like doing mathematics, right? It's a really good exercise for the mind, really important for the development of children. The second thing is, it teaches children how to think a few steps ahead of their opponent, right? So they're really using their mind to think a few steps ahead. And I think in life, this will really help them out in business as well, give them the upper hand in many circumstances. One of the next things is that one of the most important things, I think, is chess teaches children how to deal with failure and how to overcome that failure, much like jujitsu, right? Teaches them how to deal with adversity, and not just encountering the adversity, but how to fight through it and how to overcome it, right? So, this is a very important thing for children to learn early on in life. The last thing is, I taught our son, after every game, of being teaching them to be humble, just like with jujitsu, right? But I taught him, after every game that he plays his opponent, whether he wins or whether he loses, he shakes his opponent's hand and says, "Good game." This is teaching your children really important, morals and ethics, and teaches them to have a great mindset and respect for their opponent. Because oftentimes you see people disrespecting, whether it be in like UFC, the fighting thing, or even in the game of chess, there's chess players that disrespect their opponents, which is not cool. So I want our kid to be humble, which he is. And I think it's an important skill for children to have, because guess what? When people like you, you're going to have more opportunity in life. So when people like your kid, their kids and these parents are going to want to be around your kid more often, and they're going to want to have your kid around your kid as well. If your child does not know how to act, if your child is disrespectful, these parents and other kids won't want to be around your kids. So you're setting them up for failure in that respect. So, again, the game of chess, teach your children at the end to shake hands and say, "Great game." The same thing with jujitsu, it goes a long way. So, these are two things that you can do to set your children up for success. Get them involved in jujitsu if possible. The second thing is, teach them the game of chess. And I would highly encourage you to join them on that journey if it's possible for you. So, with that being said, comment, let me know your thoughts, give me your feedback, and like, subscribe, and share this video. Have a great day.